This week on Hermitcraft.
It turns out there's not a lot to do in your secret base. Oh no, oh no, no!
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and if you all haven't built secret bases in our comments section yet, we're already 3 steps ahead of you. Good luck finding our secret base in the comments of a randomly and unbiasedly selected hermit. Drop us a reply if you can find us. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with TFC, and it's a pleasure to see him back in his comfort zone, mining away the evenings, although his personal hoard of diamonds hasn't quite reached diamond throne levels yet.
That's a lot of diamond. Oh boy, is that a lot of diamond.
He runs into the throne while exploring the shopping district for Christmas gifts he missed out on, but when he doesn't find any, he gives himself a late Christmas present by shopping for the enchanted books he's still missing.
Specifically looking for anything from bows.
For those hermits who are now missing Santa Claus, Joe Hills has got you covered. This week he drops off some sand and gravel for Keralis, some andesite for Iskal, restocks the log blimp for Rendog, and even hand delivers some fresh and organic bees for Cubfan's shop.
What a happy little bundle of balloons. I don't know. This is terrifying.
He won't even accept diamonds from Keralis, although it may have been a mistake to show him into the office with a floor made of diamond blocks. But perhaps it's all a distraction so people won't realise he's been modifying the AquOWO sign with some alternate spellings.
Welcome to AquOWO Town.
If you've ever found some random money you didn't know you had in a winter coat, you know how GoodTimesWith Scar feels sorting his large array of shulker boxes. Tune in next time when during an early spring cleaning session, Scar discovers a family of 4. We joke, but with Grian and Impulse in their secret bases, who knows? What the Wares Manifest doesn't find is anything to sell at the Chest Monster and the Greenhouse shops, which Scar fixes up in a grand shulker-killing time-lapse. He also makes way for new businesses. At the AquOWO Town, the retro cafe from a Lego set goes into business with a brand sparkling new interior. The only things missing are actual food and the musical instruments for the disco part, which is where having vintage beef around comes pretty handy.
Yeah, you could put, I could do, I mean, as many as you want, really. They only take up 1 block of space, but if you want 3 up there, we could do 3 up there for sure.
Smelling the greenhouse gases, Zedaf clocks in for his farming area and, not content with it, digs right back into a cave. It is in that cave that he works on a tree farm to help with carbon dioxide, no doubt. This is a pretty simple setup actually, no pistons required, just 2 good hands, an axe and a good deal of bone meal. Might produce stripped oak on the occasion, but that too is a block worth keeping.
Belly up right to the very edge, go right near the very top of that block, we hold right click, we hold left click, and it's going to both break that block, place a sapling, and also dig out the rest of it, I hope. Here goes. Dig, dig, dig.
And that's it for all the good boys out there. The bad boys in the meantime, those are getting dynamited.
Here it goes.
How long do we wait? Is this like a game of chicken?
Go!
How long do we wait? Oh! Oh no! Zedaf, I'm stuck in here!
As a former boomer, Impulse SV should know that when TNT is involved, disaster is never far behind, often because it's directly in front of you or immediately below you. So when Zedaf comes over and asks him to supervise the controlled demolition of some buoys, things get out of control real fast. It still doesn't stop them doing it a second time.
Oh no! Okay.
I gave you no warning. Now.
For folks who aren't sure where all of the secret base shenanigans started, by the way, Impulse has you covered with his perspective of B-Dubs discovering his secret base and scouting Keralis' base for a location. To balance out this chaotic karma, he crafts half a shulker box of golden apples and drops them off for Mumbo to feed to his base for the foreseeable future.
But this should definitely help him keep his base alive. And this is going to be a very weird intro with a heart beating in the background, but this is what we're doing today because
xbCrafted exercises his destructive urges and pulls out the TNT to generate some sinkholes in his cityscape. But there's also room for a construction lot where piles of material sit unused, and adding barbed wire to the chain link fence around it gives him the idea to add a fence and elevator shaft to his hillside jail compound, which goes to plan until he digs through the wall of the elevator shaft and discovers a secret base barely 4 blocks away.
That's not something that should be there. No. What the crap is this?
Rather than being concerned about this space invader, he gets a little preoccupied with how they did the lamps. Even Keralis isn't sure who's responsible for the build style, but if xb follows through with his plan to trap the back entrance, he might get some answers.
I'm stealing so many ideas from this build. Because I like a lot of stuff, but it's definitely on me.
We actually don't see Grian pick out his secret base in Corrales Land. We only really get up to speed with B-Dubs' last week's video, which is fair, upload schedules exist. What we do get to see is all the work he's put into his mansion on top of hunting down the bells. The overall shell and design of the Great Hall down the middle is finally complete, and also the first contraption of the bunch makes its way into the building, a fairly massive and efficient pumpkin and melon farm.
I'm pretty happy with how the interior has come along, but I'm working on it. I'm going to figure all the rest of it out.
So while our audience seems utterly convinced that the big name asking machine is the Hermitcraft Bumbo Baggins Society, as if unbagged Bumbos aren't good enough, Hypnotizd has opinions and theories of his own.
So H is the 8th letter, C is the 3rd letter of the alphabet. A triangle has 3 sides. There are 2 B's in each C. So 1 plus 9 is 10. The 10th letter of the alphabet is J. Jevin smells. Got him!
His other opinion is that kelp is alright and we should use it actually. Lured by the lucrative smelting capacity of a kelp block, Hypno builds up a massive farm for the stuff right next to villager holding facilities. As the industrial area is getting closer and closer to the main boardwalk he calls home, Hypno starts considering how to maybe Corrales it up and tie the two together. Mumbo goes full Charlie Day evidence board on the countdown clock as well, but he uses it as an excuse to clean up his hobbit hole, which sounds kinda gross now that I say it out loud.
No wonder a giant clock arrived from out of space, telling me that I need to do something about this, because this is an issue.
In the end, he deforests most of a taiga biome and 1 shulker box palm tree so that he can retrofit his underhill dwelling with a bigger food court than your local shopping mall, and also a dinky room where you can plan stuff. It turns out someone else has already started a cult before he did, but are they roasting villagers over an open flame? I don't think so.
Already, this is a pretty strong start, but it could be about to get a little bit grim.
False symmetries at her Cybertown base, furthering the infrastructure of the base of tomorrow. As last week finally brought the metro to the Metropolitan, False shoots a chute through the build to serve as an elevator tower.
But basically, that is my nether portal on the other side of my base compared to the other. Like, this is probably the nether portal I don't use very much.
Now all this needs some iron protection, and she puts together a security dispatch to be staffed with custom textured iron golems, which is awfully fitting for an age of cyborgs and whatnot. Anyway, TangoTek is a madman and should be stopped.
I sent out a little tweet the other day. I remember I said last episode that this won't be as big as decked out. I lied.
Having already put a whole lot of thought and effort into his Among Us in Minecraft project, he suddenly scraps it all for the sake of making an even better one. The massively expanded map will function in a much different way, even to the point where the killed will not actually die and just have an undying totem signify that they got. This allowed to shift tasks to more interesting ones too, now that the players won't be losing their inventory all over the place, though players might soon regret this tasks revamp once they meet with the Lightificator.
The lights on the lightificator are broken and you need to fix them. Press the buttons until they turn on, and every time you press a button, there's a 50-50 chance the light will turn on and on and on.
Unfortunately, that still didn't get rid of death messages and the name tags. Those will have to be solved via cheats, which is at least minor enough and should be reverted after every game anyway. And finally, Azumavoid has reached 100 Hermitcraft Season 7 episodes, sufficient to say that Minecraft Let's Play of his really went places. So it's only appropriate to celebrate it by going places too, and X takes us on a tour of his favourite spots on the server that aren't necessarily his own, demonstrating an alarming awareness of everyone else's state of affairs. How do you know all this, Azuma? Where are the cameras, X? Oh no, they're in their faces, aren't they?
I really do love this. In fact, that is just kind of like one of the things I love most about Minecraft. I always get really excited when you see what someone else has done in the game, because there's basically endless possibilities, right? And seeing how people use all the things that are in the game and put them together differently, that is the magic.
And that's pretty much it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. Zloy might be getting banned soon, so check his latest survival episode while you still can, and remember, don't tell Pearl. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.